Attention, the following video is going to totally kick ass. If you enjoy any of it and or have a large penis, please click the like button below. Enjoy.
Showing off ass and chest, but there's something about a sundress that gets me every time. And I swear that girl right there is never gonna leave my mind.
What is going on, guys? I am Nobody Epic, and welcome to a very special episode of Awkward Situations. Now, before I get into why this is a very special episode of Awkward Situations, I would like to speak directly to anyone who is watching my videos for the first time. Be you a young male looking for a man to look up to, a tough guy type, which is absolutely me, or a young, attractive female who's still of age, by the way, but you're looking for, you know, that guy that can do a lot of push-ups and shit and fight grizzly bears. That might be me too, but you're just gonna want to not listen for the next 15 seconds because I was eating pizza the other day, and I'm not even joking about this, guys. I bit the side of my tongue so hard, I was bleeding, and I have a huge canker sore there, so if my voice sounds a little bit off and I get a little teary-eyed, I'm not gonna get teary-eyed. I'm a fucking man. I just punched myself in the chest. That fucking hurt. But yeah, so if my voice sounds a little bit off, it's because I have a huge canker sore on the side of my tongue, and I spent way too much time talking about that. But this is a Search and Destroy gameplay on Carrier. I sped up the parts where my character was resting, aka camping, noob, and we were messing around with this kid a little bit in the start of the round. I was playing with my friends, so you know we're going to be doing some goofy shit, but it gets a little more serious at the end when we are trying hard against these trick shotters. I don't know. They don't say that. Trick shotters, yay! What else is going on? Oh, this is the first Awkward Situations episode in the over a year time that I have been doing Awkward Situations, in which there will be two awkward situations. Awkward situations, blah, blah, blah. Sorry for talking fast. I just want to get this intro done so we can get into the awkward situations, but I have a more serious awkward situation at the end of the video because I read a lot of these posts that are more serious, but sometimes I shy away from them because I don't want to say the wrong thing or I don't want to make too much of a joke out of these things. So we're going to do the more lighthearted, relatable, awkward situation at the beginning and then handle the serious shit at the end. If you guys like that, let me know. Just tell me in the comments and we can try a format like this more in the future. Also, last thing, I'm doing something a little bit different for just this episode of Awkward Situations. Like I said, I've been doing Awkward Situations for over a year. So, God, I have to say Awkward Situations so fucking much. I have been doing this series for over a year, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, just something special. As I've said before, I'm working with the guys at Distractify, 2 Bucks, Mr. Technical Difficult, and some other YouTubers. And for this episode of Awkward Situations, please click the link in the top of the description. It will take you to Distractify's Facebook fan page. You like that, and there will be a post at the top of the page where you guys can write your awkward situations for next week's awkward motherfucking situations, and I will pick an awkward situation from that post to cover in next week's video, and the person I pick will be getting a copy of GTA 5 when that comes out, a free copy. I don't do giveaways on my channel in the comments or anything like that. I don't like that kind of manipulative growth, whatever you would call it. I do it on my Facebook and my Twitter for fans who want to follow me there and be involved in that type of stuff. So that's how I feel about that. Like I said, click the link in the top of the description to go to Distractify's Facebook fan page, like that, and write your awkward situations in the post at the top of Distractify's Facebook fan page. I will pick an awkward situation from there and use it in next week's episode. Sorry for the very long-winded intro, just a lot to tell you guys. We will now get into awkward situations with today's first awkward situation. Our first awkward situation comes to us via Black Ops Dave 1. He said, about a few weeks ago, my girlfriend and I went to a house party in her town. We came back later that night and ended up having sex in her bed. Her parents were asleep down the hall, so I intended to do it quietly and then leave. The problem was we ended up passing out afterwards, and I was woken up in the morning by her mom when we were both naked in her bed. It was so awkward that I have avoided talking to my girlfriend's mom for the past few weeks. Please help. Dave, don't you know that when you go to bed with your girlfriend and you're both naked and her mom wakes you up in the morning, it's really hard to get out of bed? I don't know why I say stupid stuff like that, because only I find it funny. I'm 100% sure. But anyway, Dave, I just wanted to let you know that you're not alone. Your girlfriend's naked in bed next to you. Okay, I'm going to stop. I need to take this fucking seriously. God, this is serious shit. But it doesn't, oh God, it doesn't require me to have an exorcism and be the devil. I have had this happen to me in a couple of different ways. First way was a little less sexual, but my parents kind of got the idea of what was happening. I was about 13 years old, and I had my friend over, my very good friend, and conveniently, my very good friend was crushing on and or in a relationship. I don't really know when you're in middle school what the relationship statuses are like. We didn't have Facebook back then. MySpace, LOL. I'm 22, before you think, God, this guy's fucking old and weird, no Facebook. Anyway, friend was over, his crush lived next door to me, and I also had a crush on her friend, and she was at the house the same night. You guys can see where this is going. A little bit of foreshadowing. Nightfall crept over the land, and my friend and I decided to sneak out of my house and go over and hang out with these girls. And I'm just going to tell you guys that it got pretty cold because it was fall, and God damn it, you cannot do anything very hot when you're outside at 2 a.m. and you're shivering with a girl, and you could have been like, oh, nobody collect some sticks and light a fire and have sex with her by the fire. It's like, motherfucker, I'm 13, and we didn't even use the internet a lot back then. I don't know how I would conceptualize that in my head, that I'm gonna fuck this girl by a fire. We just talked and hugged and held each other because we didn't want to die. I don't know what my friend and the girl did. We didn't really talk about it, but I assume that he got it in because that guy was the fucking man, and he still is the man. But yeah, so that's how that happened. And then we go back inside, and like I said, it was very cold, so we're in full winter gear, shoes and everything, and by the time we got back into my house, we were rather exhausted. So we decided that we would just watch some TV in my living room and then go downstairs. And then we fell asleep in all of our outdoor gear, including our shoes, in the living room. And my parents came up to me the next morning questioning what we did. And I will be honest with you, I don't remember what my excuse is, but my dad gave me a look like, fuck that shit, you went over to see those girls. And he wasn't pissed, and he didn't say anything about it, but I know he knew. So that was kind of awkward, but nothing really weird came of it, and it's just one of those parts of growing up that I can laugh about now that I'm older. Fast forward about 4 years, and I had an awkward situation happen to me that is a little bit more relatable to your awkward situation, Dave. I was hanging out with my high school girlfriend, who I have went over this before, is not my current girlfriend, but I'm still friends with her. It was a weeknight, and we did some homework, and then we were watching NCIS on television. She likes that show, I hate that show. I don't know why I hate that show, it's just lame as shit to me. So I had to divert away from watching NCIS, and I said something like, do you want to NIC my penis? I didn't actually say that, but I wish I did now that I just thought of it. Regardless, we start getting hot and heavy and make-outing and going to bases and playing baseball and whatever the hipsters are saying. And sure enough, her father walks downstairs and makes a sound like an aardvark getting kicked in the testicles, like, and we both look right at him, and it's like, oh shit, that's and he walked back upstairs really quickly, and then about 5 seconds later came back downstairs, so it was like he was trying to rewind the situation, and I was in the Matrix, and I don't know exactly what happened because my face was so white, much whiter than it normally is, a very pale state, but it was more like a Canadian forest winter snow at this point, and I didn't really know what to do and what happened. I was in a state of shock, and I wasn't really saying words out of my mouth. She was speaking for me, and I was nodding my head in whatever she was saying that was making sense, but not really making sense at the time. It was very awkward, and he just stood there until I got up and left. Kind of like your situation, I let it cool off for a week or two and slowly began talking to them again because you can't avoid them if you're going to be in a relationship with this person, and they just let it go because they were kids too once, and that shit fucking happens. I know a lot of my awkward situations break down to shit happens and it will get better, but that's just the facts of life, kids. But our last awkward situation of the day is not one of those awkward situations where shit happens. It's one where we need to solve a real issue, so let's get into it. Our second and final awkward situation of the day comes to us via James Dixon. He said, a few weeks ago, I walked in on my mom having sex with another man. She begged me not to tell my dad, but every time I see him, I have an urge to tell him, and it's very awkward. What should I do? James, I just want to start off by saying I am incredibly sorry this traumatic event has happened to you. I know my words aren't going to fix it, but hopefully some examples of some things that have happened to my friends will fix it. I can personally say I cannot relate to this because my parents are a great example of a lasting relationship. I love them both dearly, and they love each other dearly, and I feel so lucky to have that in my life because I know for most people in America, divorce rate over 50%, that is not the case. So just know that you're not alone in this, and my two friends have a story that's kind of relatable to yours. My first friend, he's a male. He found out about his mother cheating on his father, and he told his father straight up, and they got divorced. So he was kind of older at the time, closer to adult age like we are now, and it was very painful for him, obviously. Like, it's painful for you, I'm sure, but he got over it, and in the end, I think he feels like that was the best possible thing that could have happened out of that bad situation, because he does not deserve to bear the weight of his mother's deceit against his father, just as you don't deserve it. My second friend was a female, and she also found out her mother was cheating on her father, and obviously fathers cheat on mothers too. You can see that I picked this heavier, awkward situation because it was eerie how much I had already dealt with this, at least with my friends. But anyway, she sat her mother down and she said, "I'm not going to deal with this. You're an adult. You talk this over with our father." And honestly, I think that's the route you need to take. You need to go to your mother and say, "You're a fucking adult. You're my parent. Set an example for me of how you deal with a relationship. There's going to be pain. Life is dealing with problems every single day. This is a bigger problem. Sometimes the problem is there's no toothpaste. Sometimes the problem is there's no milk. And this is a problem with a relationship that she needs to solve herself. And if she won't do it, you need to relieve that weight off of your shoulders, because you don't deserve to bear it. She's a parent and she should set an example for you. So have a talk with her, and hopefully it doesn't have to come to you taking matters into your own hands. I hope that helps, James. Message me if there's anything else that we could go over. And Distractify link at the top of the description. Write your awkward situations in the post pinned to the top of the page, and have an awesome day.
I believe me.